Welcome back to another episode of JV Starters. I'm your host, Andy Vigu, and today I've got a special guest, my good friend Steve Isola. Steve, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Every day I get to remind myself that the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I just get a smile on my face.
I remember that feeling like 10 years ago. Yeah.
Hey, I waited my whole life to get the first one. It's nice to get a second one without waiting another 40 years.
No, absolutely.
So, Steve, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself, especially your sports interests?
Absolutely. So I grew up in Seattle. Seattle fandom across the board, where there's the Sonics. Hopefully they come back. Mariners, Seahawks, Kraken, whatever it may be. It's all Seattle. Um, Military veteran, family, father of now four. So new daughter like 7 weeks ago. But yeah, I'm a fan of pro sports. A little bit on the college side here, U of A. Obviously, I'm wearing the Arizona hat. Being here in Tucson, that's kind of it goes with the territory. I never followed a college until I came here, so yeah.
I'm the same way when it comes to U of A. I knew who they were, but I didn't really track them or pay attention until I moved here. And I said, you know what? As long as I'm living here, it's a college town. I may as well cheer for the local team. And sure enough, all my friends cheer for them. And now I've been a season ticket holder of football for 7 years. So
So do you have a Cardinals jersey now too?
I do not have a Cardinals jersey. I do have a Diamondbacks hat. I
Mm.
have what I call a casual Diamondbacks fan, and even more casual uh, Cardinals fan. Out of the sports teams here, I probably cheer for the Suns more than the other two if I was going to pick one.
There you go. I'm slowly becoming a Diamondbacks fan, just the fact that they're taking all Seattle's cast-offs. So we have Eugenio Suarez, you have Seawald that came down here. So I like the Diamondbacks. They're fun to watch.
When I actually went to my first NLCS game, and I went to two of them when the Phillies were playing there, and I had to respect them. I mean, I disrespected my Phillies for blowing a 2-0 and then 3-2 lead. That was brutal. At least one of the games I went to, we did win, because especially with the amount of money I paid for those tickets, at least I got to see a win.
There you go.
Brutal.
Oh,
Well, update. Haven't done one of these with you at all, and I haven't done any of these since before the Super Bowl. So I am going to gloat just a little bit, wearing my championship T-shirt that my parents sent me for my birthday. I wear the hats all the time. It's just, it's funny. I'll just say this about it. I mean, it was pretty obvious. Everything's been said about the Super Bowl. Dominant performance. There's a lot of fun little things, but I remember as soon as the game ended, I had people texting me and saying, that's the worst Super Bowl I've ever seen. And I was like, what? How? Because I was on cloud nine. I mean, the whole time. And I said, like, how could you think it was bad? And they're like, because it was over by the second quarter. And I thought, you know what? Let me try and remove myself from this. Let me try and objectively look at this and see it from their point. Sorry, can't do it.
no.
Can't do it.
No.
I'm too ingrained. I'm too close to it. Greatest Super Bowl ever.
What was the final score in that Super Bowl?
Oh, it ended up being 40-22.
Okay.
But the real score is 40-6 because that's when we said, oh, okay, well,
There was a lot of garbage time stuff
there was some stat
yeah.
padding, garbage time.
Yeah.
I get it. You can't sit Pat Mahomes. Come on, whatever. Like it was.
Yeah.
Anywho, yeah, it was 40-6 is what it was with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
So anyway, the one thing I got to say is if you want to see a lot of scoring in a Super Bowl, you should want the Eagles in it. Because in the three Super Bowls they've been in the past couple of years, and you can go back to 2004, back when they lost to the Patriots, they were all exciting games.
What, 150 points?
Yeah, just crushing people, right? I mean, but both Patriots ones, both Chiefs ones, these are close games. These were, I mean, the last Chiefs one wasn't a close one, but it was exciting.
Yeah.
So, at any rate, it's funny because I've got a lot of Eagles friends, my sister, my siblings, and so they like posting those. Here's your daily reminder: Eagles won the Super Bowl. I'm still getting those
I
every day.
remember getting those same angry comments about the Seahawks when they won. That was the worst Super Bowl ever. Like, no, I thought it was the best one ever. Like, come on now. They won 48 to what? 3? Like, come on.
Yeah, you're right. You had the exact same thing, a big blowout. Everybody said, nah, it was great.
No, I had fun.
Yeah, yeah, and then of course, unfortunately, you had the heartbreak the next year, but at
Yeah.
least you got the
Oh,
one. You got the first one.
oof, oof. Marshawn.
Tip one out for Marshawn.
uh,
All right, so you know the script. We'll each present a hot take or an idea or something fun or a rule change or whatever it is that you want. Something thought provoking, fun, or interesting, without the other person knowing what's coming, and we'll each present a couple of ideas and have some fun at the end. So, the first one that I want to approach is I think that with all of the quarterback drama this off season, the most interesting story to me is what Miami's going to do about Tua.
oh, okay.
Think about it. So, Tua Tagovailoa should have retired 3 years ago. He went down.
After his second concussion.
When he went down and his fingers did the funny twisty thing, I was actually at a work meeting of sorts alongside a lot of other medical professionals and people who've worked in the ER and worked with brain injuries. And when they saw the fingers, they went, "Oh no! Like this guy's risking his life to go back on the field again."
Yeah, that
And
wasn't
so,
the first time that's happened. Like he had that happen in college, and it's happened twice in the pros, like where he's throwing gang signs after a head injury.
exactly. So for me, when he went down, he got hurt. The next year, they went and he bulked up. Right, you see this bulked up dude now, and they said, "Well, now his neck's stronger. He's good." And to be fair, he went that whole year fine.
But he's
They give
leaving.
him all the money, 60 million, 55 million, and
Yeah.
he ran. I mean, he ran of all people to run into. Uh, whatchamacallit from the Bills, the guy who collapsed. I thought,
Uh,
oh my goodness,
yeah.
because he went head first in, fell down, fingers did it again. I thought, oh boy. So
Yeah.
he's ultimately talented,
Is that
but
Damar Hamlin?
Demar Hamlin, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
unfortunately, I think that the it's pretty obvious that the the Dolphins regret giving him that contract, knowing that his
Yeah.
health is tenuous, and if he was not medically cleared to go back out, then the insurance would pay it. He'd be out. They could cut him. They're done. But right now they're stuck. So here's what's interesting. Did you see who they picked up in the offseason?
No, I did not.
Zach Wilson, former
Okay.
number 2 overall, has
Not a
some
leader.
potential. Huh?
Yeah. I said not a leader.
No, but anytime that you get those guys, first round, top 5 pick, they always end up with a pedigree years later. They keep giving them chances because, well, he was a number 1 overall or number 2. So they brought in somebody who theoretically should be capable and that somebody they want to be able to win. So what I think is going to be interesting is what they do in the draft. I am going to guarantee that they draft a quarterback, not in the first 2 rounds, but probably 3rd or 4th, maybe 5th round. They're going to look for somebody who.
So you think they choose Zach Wilson as their starter, and
No,
they
I,
use
no, I
that?
think it's still Tua's job to lose.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
I think it's still Tua's job to lose, but they did not bring in, an old man, that a journeyman, whatever. Like that's usually who you bring in. They got burned last year by their 2 guys they had on the bench who were
Yeah.
no good.
Yeah. My husky's going nuts downstairs. I don't know if you can hear that. Sorry.
Not too bad. So that's my piece. I'd love to hear what you want to. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, Tua should retire, and I'm surprised he hasn't retired at this point. I mean, 3 head injuries in the pros, plus a couple in college, and none of those were good. I don't see him lasting more than 3-4 weeks if he's the starter. I just don't. And really, his stats, do they really back up, or do they warrant him being the starter at this point? I don't think so. Zach Wilson as a backup, I could see them going after a quarterback, or maybe even signing somebody who's still out there that's available. What do you have? You have Wilson, you have Rodgers, you have. I think there's still one more out there. But either way, I don't know. Yeah, I could see them drafting. Just take a chance, see what they get in the draft. That makes sense.
Yeah, they won't be a first round, second round guy. You do that, and all of a sudden everybody freaks out. But
Yeah.
at the same time, they go, all right, we've got him, we've got Wilson, probably on a 1-year, $10 million contract, something like that, and we'll because I think that's roughly. I'd have to look at. I think that's roughly what his contract is.
Where do
which
they
is-
stand in the draft right now? I'm sorry.
Well, they didn't make the playoffs, so they should be somewhere in the teams probably. And
Dolphins
12 teams.
draft picks. Let's see.
So I feel like they brought in a guy that is serviceable, that could be the future possibly, and they feel like they need someone ready to play. So they did not waste time bringing in somebody who's your typical backup when you have a healthy starter.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So I'm looking at USA Today, random article. Who knows what the source is? It said the Dolphins have needs at guard, cornerback, and defensive tackle. They have the 13th pick in the NFL draft.
There you go.
So that could be interesting.
I,
Uh,
I'm gonna peg them as the type of guy who's going to take in the third round, take a Quinn Ewers.
ooh, I can see that.
That's a
Yeah,
guy who slipped in the order. He's not as his stock isn't as high, but at the same time, a third round seems plenty for him. So I think if he's running the third round, you see a guy like that end up down there. And there's a few of those guys. I'd have to look at all of them now, but there's 3 or 4 guys that kind of are right in that range.
yeah. No, I like that. No, that's a good take.
I just figure everybody's talking about Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, all this drama. Justin Fields went to the Jets. Like, that's a lot of things, but I'm like, how's no one talking about Tua? Like, this is
Yeah.
the elephant in the room. That's the big story to me. You got
Absolutely.
guys at the end of their career, where they're going to go, and teams hanging their hopes on. Come on, man, Steelers and Jets. And come on, like, this is the real story.
I think so. Honestly, you kind of took the wind out of my sails there because I was going to talk about Wilson, Rogers, and that's funny.
Go for it. Let's hear what you got.
No, I think the Steelers could potentially miss out huge if Russ signs with the Vikings. Who does Pittsburgh have right now?
No
You,
one.
you have Mason Rudolph, and you have
Mason Rudolph.
whomever else there is after. I don't know. That's Pittsburgh could end up losing terribly, even though they've made amazing offensive acquisitions, and even on the D line, like they picked up somebody from the Niners. They picked up DK. I mean, the Steelers are stacked right now.
Yeah,
They just need a quarterback.
yeah. Who they might have to go for? No joke. Kirk Cousins.
You like that?
You know what? Not for nothing. I think that could be a good fit there.
It could. It could.
I
Yeah.
think it would because, like, what are you going to do? You're going to keep him over there at, look, he's getting a lot of money.
Yeah.
They got to come to some agreement and say, look, if you want out, you're going to have to let us out of the contract too, buddy.
Exactly.
And I think that's actually a mistake because Penix is a great guy. That dude is, you were talking before about, we were talking privately about quarterback face. He looks like a hero, looks like a star. He does. He looks like Cam Newton did, right? Like he's got that build, that physique, except he's got terrible knees. And Michael Penix Jr. is going to be that guy who is not going to last because of his knees.
Can name so many quarterbacks that RG3. I mean,
Well, I don't know if you watched the very first episode we ever did, but I said that Bo Nix was going to be the only quarterback drafted in the first round that anyone's going to care about in like 10 years, and he'd be the only one that was good. And my host about lost it. Because he was one talking about how Caleb Williams is the truth, and I was like, no, Caleb Williams is going to stink. And I said Jaden Daniels is supremely talented, but he is RG3. He's so skinny, and the way he runs, I have a feeling he's going to get a knee injury, and him and Michael Penix Jr. are going to be the guys who are just going to suffer for that. So that's always my concern when you have that athletic quarterback, but he's also skinny. Like he's not a Jalen Hurts. That guy can put a hurt on a linebacker.
well, when Russ Wilson came up, I mean, he was skinny. He was, he was stocky, but at the same time, like he could easily get hurt that first year. He bulked up over the years, and ultimately that's probably what led to his decline. He's just not.
Russell Wilson, his main problem was always that he wanted to play the hero, and he took so many sacks he wouldn't give up the ball.
Yeah.
You know that better than anybody as a Hawks fan.
And I mean, Seattle hasn't had an offensive line in 15 years. I mean,
I think Justin Fields, to your point, you're talking about these guys moving around. I think that Justin Fields move, I think the Jets finally made a smart move.
Yeah.
I thought signing Aaron Rodgers was stupid. He was older. He's not the same guy. And sure enough, 5 plays in, no one could have predicted.
They were following the Favre method.
Yep.
They-
And now you got the Steelers, the Browns, and maybe the Vikings all waiting to see. The
yeah.
Vikings have said that they're out. They say
Which,
they're not waiting for
we were
him.
talking about stupid contracts. The Browns with Deshaun Watson, like, what were they thinking? Like, I mean,
Worst contract in history.
oh my God. Like,
Nope.
that dude, he's what, torn 2 ACLs, a couple Achilles now?
And
Plus,
a lot of legal issues.
yeah. He likes
Nobody
the.
regrets a contract more than that. Like the Jamarcus Russell contract's better than that one.
Yeah, for sure. Oh. Or Brady Quinn.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give you a choice here. I told you I had 2 ideas for my second topic today. Would you rather I go over who I think the best offseason coaching hire is, or what's going to change? Shoot, how do I say this without giving the whole thing away? Um, the 2 teams I think that may have won free agency. Which one do you want me to do?
So, what was the first option?
Best coaching hire in the offseason.
Let's go there.
All right. Best coaching hire is Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll is a smart hire. He's a good guy. I don't want to try and, as much as I'm an Eagles fan and a Cowboys hater, I'm not going to slam their coaching hire just because he's kind of an unknown and going on pedigree and his dad and all that stuff. Because when Andy Reid was hired, as he was the quarterbacks coach for Green Bay when the Eagles hired him, and I remember thinking at the time, oh, great. This guy hasn't even been a coach. But he came in, and I heard about his interview when he sat down with Jeff Lurie. He sat down, and he had a big, thick binder, and he already had his whole offense out. And they're like, oh, yo, check this dude out. He's prepared. And, he's one of the best offensive minds in the game. So I'm not going to slam that one. Anyway, back to the point about Pete Carroll. It always ends up being, I'm a big proponent of the best front offices, hire the best coaches, and that's who wins. Because they build the lines, they build the trenches, they don't worry about the quarterback nearly as much, or the skill players. And so that's exactly who Pete Carroll is. I mean, he already brought his guy Geno Smith down, who I thought when he signed Geno Smith in Seattle, I was like, oh, come on. And he turned out he's a solid guy, right? He's somewhere around 15 to 20 in the league. He's not amazing. He's solid. Put up 4,300 yards last year.
Oh, for sure.
4,300 yards. So I think that what it's going to be is this is going to be a replay of Dick Vermeil in Kansas City. So Dick Vermeil coached my Eagles to their first Super Bowl. They lost. He was retired for years. Came back. Greatest show on turf. He built the Rams up to go to win the Super Bowl. Retired again. The Chiefs said, "Come on out," and he built them into the number 1 offense in the league with Priest Holmes. It was an amazing team.
He was amazing.
Outstanding team. The thing is their record in 5 years was 6-10, 8-8, 13-3, 7-9, 10-6. They made it to 1 playoff.
One real good season.
1 playoff. They lost their 1 game they played in the playoffs in the divisional round, and I feel like because of management and the Raiders are a broke team, right? They're never going to be able to. They just maxed out Max Crosby, so he's going to have the flip side is he won't be the greatest offense. He's going to be that solid offense, great defense, and that's about where I see them. I think he's going to give them 4 or 5 years, really good team, Legion of Boom type of stuff.
I think this is going to be very much similar to that 2013 Seahawks team. I mean, defensively minded, run the ball. You have a couple good weapons on the outside. Russ can make things happen. I'm not sorry, Russ. Geno can make things happen. Wow. Yeah. No, So you're saying that was the best coaching acquisition was Pete Carroll?
There's a bunch of coaching hires. I don't want to slam my guy Kellen Moore going down to New Orleans. I think that's a good hire for them. I really wish he'd have stuck around 1 more year. There's several of these guys that were picked up, but I mean, what's the weird dude? The Jaguars hired that weird dude, Duval.
Jesus.
So anyway, yeah. Do you have any? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I'm a Seattle guy, so I like Pete Carroll, and I kind of like the fact that they're reuniting him, Geno, and I think there was another Seahawk that went down there too, maybe on the defensive side of the ball. Either way, I mean, you got Lockett that's still out there that hasn't signed anywhere. Lockett could. Oh no, he did. He signed. No, he signed with the Raiders, I believe. No, so Lockett, Gino, and Pete are going to be in Oakland. I mean, if you look at that coaching acquisition and then what they've done since, yeah, I would absolutely agree with you. That was the best hire of the season.
You're right. He's putting the band back together.
Yeah, I mean, you could easily win a Super Bowl down there right now. Oakland's not a bad team on paper. And now, and now that you put a coach and those key positions in place, I'll be pissed off if it happens. But Raiders,
Hey, at least they're not in the same division anymore, right?
yeah, right. Ugh.
I always have to remind myself, growing up, I mean, they moved the Astros got moved to the American League in baseball. The Seahawks got moved to the NFC.
Yep.
Forget some of those things sometimes.
Oh yeah.
All right, what do you got? What's your other idea?
What was it? Cut one. Sorry. So cut
Oh,
one.
well, I thought we'd get to the start bench cut later, but if you
Oh,
do you have
okay.
a second hot take or idea on
Um,
any sport?
any sport. The Mariners have a better starting rotation than the Dodgers.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't have the stats in front of me to back that up. I'm making that blatant statement. I think, the Dodgers have some like splash headline signings, which are amazing. But I think Seattle's pitching staff has better history overall in the league. I think the Mariners can be really dangerous this year. I don't think they'll beat the Dodgers offensively right now. But I think pitching wise, rotation wise, I think Seattle has the best rotation in the league.
Nice. Let's see here. I'm trying to see if I can see just the pitchers. Oh, here you go. Bazardo. You got Matt Brash. I mean, that dude's amazing. Luis Castillo, Logan Gilbert, Emerson Hancock. Are those the starters? I don't follow
Yep.
those closely.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Brash.
Yep.
Well, that is something to say. Huh. Do they have the bats to back it up?
Look, I picked them. I put money on them to win the division, and I did that probably 2 months ago. I think they can do it, especially since the Astros are so depleted right now.
I don't think anybody is gonna tell you they want the Astros to win outside of Houston.
No, but I mean the Astros lost so many key pieces in the offseason. I think this is finally kind of like their undoing.
Well, good. I'd like
Yeah.
to see the Mariners win. Not for nothing. I just uniform wise, that white uniform of the Mariners, is one of the best uniforms in the league, man. That looks so sharp with the white, and then they got the two different blues.
Yep,
Really good.
I love it.
All right, hey, so you got a start bench cut you want to do?
Well, I mean, we're going to go right back to where we were. It's Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, or Aaron Rodgers.
Oh man, start bench cut. Then I'm probably Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Justin Fields. I'll just stay right off the bat. I'm cutting Rodgers.
Yeah.
Like he's old and distracted. I'm going to start Justin Fields and I'll bench Russ.
Ooh, okay. So we're a little swapped there. I would still start Russ and I would bench Fields. But either way, Rodgers is out. He's cut. And not just because of his politics. It's he's at the tail end of his career. I don't think he's that good. I mean, getting injured on game one, that was kind of crazy. And then he didn't really put up a good fight last season. So no, I think he's on his way out.
All right. Do you have any other start bench cut?
Oh, let's see.
I hate these games because they're impossible usually.
Hillary Clinton. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Bryce Harper, Shohei Ohtani. Bryce Harper, Shohei, or Tatis.
I knew you were going to go Tatis.
Yeah.
I'm a homer. It's so hard to not say I'm just going to start Bryce. But yeah, I have to. Tatis is going to have to be cut. Sorry, buddy. I mean, he's amazing. I've
Ooh.
got to keep. I'm going to go with Harper. Go
Okay.
with Harper, and it's tough to say to Shohei's on my bench, but he's still on the team. He's still on the team. He's going to pitch.
Shohei's starting on both sides.
Yeah, he still started pitching, so it's fine. He's on the bench in the field.
Yeah. Yep.
Still getting over that injury.
I think I cut Bryce at this point, and I take Tatis. I start Tatis. I mean, I'm sorry, I bench Tatis. I start Shohei.
Start Shohei.
Yeah.
That's why I hate these games. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Here's 3 Hall of Famers. Cut one.
Right?
What? That's why they're terrible.
I mean, Tatis's dad was amazing. Like,
He is right now, though. I mean, I'll just fall back on my guy, still an MVP candidate guy, still winning them. And I mean, I tell you what, like when you just look at their swing, he has one of my favorite swings of all time.
Ken Griffey?
Bryce Harper has it's the most violent swing. He goes from this kind of he's rocking, he's sitting there, you see his fingers moving, and the bat speed is outstanding. And that ball, he just tattoos these balls.
Yeah.
So like it's not this beautiful swing. Shohei has a much prettier swing. It looks effortless. But and
More
Tatis,
like a Griffey swing.
Tatis is exciting.
Yeah.
Tatis is exciting. But there's just a violence to Bryce Harper's swing. So I love it.
I remember seeing Bryce hitting homers as a sophomore. Like with a wood bat, 450 feet. Like the kid is amazing. Like Bryce is amazing.
Yeah.
He's a generational talent. Shohei's a generational talent. We're lucky to be, seeing what we're seeing right now, and having what we saw when we were younger, with Sosa, McGuire, Griffey. Like, I mean, granted that was steroid ball, but
Hey, sometimes the best steroids win.
it still made it entertaining.
Yeah.
So.
All right, I've got some rapid fire questions for you. You're going to want to give me more than one answer. You're going to want to explain it. There's no explaining. These are fast, and I want to hear your thoughts here. All right?
Yep.
So, which NFL team that went to the playoffs will not?
Last year?
Yep. Which last year's NFL playoff teams will not go to this year?
Chiefs.
The Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs?
I think the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs.
Woo! Okay. I say it's going to be the Texans and the Buccaneers, one in each league, are both going to miss the playoffs this year.
Okay.
Okay, which team that did not make it will make it?
Chicago.
Ooh, they're in a tough division too. So I say the Bengals and the Falcons may have made the moves that they need to get there. So we'll see if that, because both those were close. They just missed. Okay. Did Freddie Freeman make a mistake not retiring after that World Series?
No.
I mean, you walk off.
Yeah,
You walked off the game.
That's the way to end a career, but the guy's clearly got more ball left in him. Like, come on.
Yeah, but he's already injured. He's not even playing in Tokyo. All right. Most overrated baseball team this year.
Fuck the Yankees. Sorry.
Ooh.
I mean, Yankees.
I picked their crosstown rivals.
Oh,
The
you
Mets.
Mets. Okay.
Yeah. They signed Juan Soto. I mean, everybody knows that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
People their contracts go to die. Who is the best big name free agent signing this offseason?
For football?
Football, yeah.
Best big name free agent signing. I'd actually have to look at the list right now. Can we do a multiple choice?
I'll give you a couple of choices here. Let's see, and I exclude the ones where people kept their own guy. It's more of changing teams. Signing.
Yeah.
You have. Let's think of who are some of the big ones that moved around. I mean, like the Eagles lost several guys that went out there. None of those were the
Oh,
biggest names.
DeAndre Hopkins.
D Hop.
I say D Hop. Yeah, yeah, D
I
Hop.
say Devonte Adams to the Rams.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, they were a good team last year, and cutting Cup, bringing in Devonte Adams. Oh, brother.
But
I
I
think
think Cup is amazing. I mean, granted, now I'm a homer because he's in Seattle and he's from UW.
I am really excited that I think that Seattle team is going to be good. They're going to make the playoffs this year.
Yep.
All right, last question of the day. Who is your all-time favorite MLB player? Doesn't mean he's the best
Griffey Jr.
player ever. Your favorite player.
Ken Griffey Jr.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Oh, okay. I mean, Chipper Jones.
It's okay. He can be. Mine is a Philly, right? And it's John
Yeah.
Kruk.
Yep. Oh, Kruk was fun. Kruk was
Kruk is
fun.
my favorite player ever.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, who didn't, as a kid, like grow up emulating Griffey's swing? Like we all did that at the ballpark.
he had the prettiest swing I've ever watched in my lifetime.
I really think Major League Baseball should change their logo to him. I mean,
Well, not for nothing. I mean,
because Ted Williams is the current, right?
I don't think anybody is.
I thought it was Ted Williams.
I mean, Jerry West is the NBA logo.
Yep.
I don't think the MLB is actually based on a person.
Oh, you know what? That's a hold on. MLB logo. No. It's a white silhouette of a batter, not specifically based on any player, although people believe it's Harmon Killebrew.
I'd have to look at Harmon Killebrew's batting stance.
Yeah, right? But, I mean, you have Jordan for basketball. Why isn't Griffey for baseball? You know, Tigers golf, clearly.
Well, Jordan's not the official logo.
Gretzky should be. Say what now?
Jordan's not the official logo. For
No, it's
baseball.
Jerry West, but
Yeah.
yeah. But he should.
I mean, well, and once Kobe died, everybody said, "Oh, maybe we should make it Kobe." I'm like, that'd be nice, but we have a lot of basketball players die. Like,
Oh,
can't just do it for the dead ones.
jeez.
So. All right. Well, I had a fun time. I liked that. What do you think of your first episode?
I love it. This is fun, man. Let's keep doing it.
All right, we'll do it again.
All right.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Remember, like and subscribe, share us, tell all your friends, and go Birds.
Go Mariners.